70% of UK parents have invested money for their children. Now, this might sound impressive until you realise that money is being put aside in an ineffective way. It isn't really being invested at all. Only 57% of adults use a savings account, and an even smaller number, just 38%, use an ISA. A staggering 36% of people use their current account as their savings account. Today, I'm going to break down 3 different ways that you can actually invest for your child. Then I'll finish up the video with a step-by-step process for those that want to know exactly what buttons to click for the most popular option too. This might be counterintuitive, but I want to start by making sure that this is a decision that you're definitely happy with. If you've ever been on a plane, you'll have heard a simple instruction during the safety briefing. Put your oxygen mask on first before you help others. And the logic is simple. You're great at helping other people, but to be able to do that, you have to ensure that you're secure first. The exact same logic can be applied to investing and saving for the future. Trying to set someone else up is a noble mission, but is it the best decision that you can make with your money? Answering that question all comes down to your current saving priorities, net worth, risk tolerance, and the way you see your future shaping up. Imagine this scenario. You need to go into a care home at 75 years old. The average residential home costs £1,160 per week, so that's £60,320 per year, and rising with inflation. If your net worth is $400,000 and you sell everything you own, you can afford fewer than 7 years in an average priced care home. If you live longer than that, you might have to make a sacrifice to your standard of living by moving to a below average home, or your family might have to step in and help you pay. If the latter happens, unfortunately this means that you'll become a significant financial burden on your family, potentially for a pretty long time. Will they still be grateful that you saved up to pay towards their first home or university tuition 40 years ago? Of course they will. But would they have been more grateful if you'd used the money to ensure your own future was fully secured? Almost certainly. It's strange how it works, but you and your child could have been better off had you kept the money you gifted them when they turned 18. Let's say you saved up £10,000, and instead of giving it away to your child, you kept it invested for 40 years and achieved a 9% average annual return, based on a long-term global average pre-inflation. How much would that now be worth? Over £360,000. Despite seeming like a relatively small sum, that £10,000 could have almost doubled your net worth in the long run, providing enough cash, including interest, to pay for all of the care you needed in your old age. Now, I appreciate this is a slightly depressing example, but hopefully it illustrates the point. If you aren't effectively saving for your own future, should you be saving for someone else's? Put your own mask on first. But the good news is that many of us are already effectively saving for the future, and saving for someone else's future can be an extraordinary way to help them get ahead in life if you can afford it. So, assuming you have your own mask on, what is the best way to invest on behalf of a child? Well, the first option you could consider is a junior stocks and shares ISA, and this is an account that can't be withdrawn from until the holder turns 18, and all profits are completely tax-free. In the UK, a child is allowed to have up to £9,000 per year invested on their behalf into a junior ISA, and this is in addition to your own £20,000 per year ISA deposit limit. There are 2 types of junior ISA, or JISA, a cash JISA and a stocks and shares JISA. To attempt to get higher returns like the 10% average annual return that the S&P 500 has delivered over the last 30 years, you can invest in the stock market on behalf of a child using a junior stocks and shares ISA. You can put in a set amount as frequently as you like, every month, every year, and contribute with cash deposits should you wish to. And the money you add into your account can then be invested in various stocks and shares. We tend to invest in funds that contain hundreds of businesses within a single investment. Please remember though that when investing, your capital is at risk. Past performance does not dictate future results, and we are not financial advisors. One drawback of a junior ISA is that when your child turns 18, it is legally theirs to do what they want with it, including blowing the lot on holidays and booze. So that brings us on to option 2, a bear trust. A bear trust is a very flexible child savings option with no restriction on who can access them or what can be paid in. The person that sets it up also controls it for life. However, these accounts don't have the same tax advantages of a junior ISA. If you go down this route, you're sacrificing tax efficiency and a share of your profits in exchange for greater control, if you don't trust what your child will do with the money at 18. The The final option we can look at is highly tax efficient, comes with a 20% bonus paid in via the government, and your child can't touch it at 18 either, and this is a junior SIPP. A JSIPP is similar to a JISA in the way that you can invest into the stock market on behalf of your children. However, there are two main differences. Firstly, the government will automatically contribute a 20% bonus via tax relief, up to £720 per year. You can deposit up to £2,880 per year, bringing the overall contribution to £3,600. And this is completely free money. Secondly, your child won't be able to access the funds from their junior SIPP until they turn 57, though this is subject to change as this is a pension product. At the age of 18, the junior SIPP will turn into a regular SIPP, which has a much higher annual deposit limit of $60,000, but your child, who is now an adult, will be responsible for their own contributions and investment decisions. This is a great option for those that want to set their child up for retirement rather than a head start in life. We compared the best junior stocks and shares ISAs and the best junior SIPPs on the Financial Interest site. I'll link both of those comparisons in the description below if you wanted to check them out after. We'll round off this video by showing you exactly where you'd click and how you'd set up an investment in a junior stocks and shares ISA. I prefer junior ISAs partly because they allow for giving children a good head start, but also because there's a much greater chance that I'll be around to take all of the credit for it. I can't risk waiting until my child is 57 and for me to be in my 80s or 90s and for them to not know that I'm a total legend. The broker we'll be using to set up an investment into a junior stocks and shares ISA with in this video is Hargreaves Lansdown. I've selected these because they have the lowest fees at the time of recording, but I highly recommend following some of the tips in the tutorial because it's not the easiest website to use in the world. We had to do some testing and have a few calls with customer service to figure out some of the basic steps. I've put a link for you to sign up in the description. It might be an affiliate link, it might not. It really depends if they want to pay us or not. If they don't, we'll still be linking and using their service as it was the best option for us at the time of this video. If they do, it doesn't affect anything for you whatsoever, but it means we'll earn a small commission. We use them ourselves and it seems like the best option to us. It's as simple as that. Hargreaves Lansdown are a reputable provider. They're a FTSE listed company that currently hold around £142 billion for their 1.8 million customers. They were also founded in 1981 and have been a big player in the finance scene ever since. So your money is being held by what is widely considered to be a very trustworthy company. I personally wouldn't use them for investing for myself because their fees on adult accounts are much higher. But their junior ISA option looks very good to me because it has zero platform or trading fees. If you have an account with Hargreaves Lansdown already, make sure you log out as you need to create a new account on behalf of your child for this ISA, though you can still use your same email address for correspondence with them. During the sign up process, you'll have the option of setting up a direct debit. If you're looking to do this, you should probably do so here rather than depositing cash first. If you only deposit cash now, you won't be able to set up a direct debit automatically with your online account. You'll have to call them up or send off some forms. And even though their support team is fantastic, it's much easier to not have to ring at all. So set one up at this stage if a recurring investment is something that you're wanting to go for. When you set up a direct debit, it will be taken out of your account on the 7th of every month. But that isn't exactly clear when you're setting this up either. The investment will then be made on the 10th of every month, and you can set this to be any amount you like over the £25 minimum deposit. This means that if you've signed up, say on the 11th of the month, you'll have to wait until the next month to make your first investment via the direct debit. However, you can get around this by manually depositing cash and investing it that way. Once you've decided on how much you'll be investing every month, you'll now be able to select the funds or shares you want your portfolio investing in. For the purpose of this tutorial, we've selected Vanguard's FTSE Global All Cap Index, which is an index fund that invests into businesses of all sizes across the entire global stock market. But you can add any fund or share you like, as long as you've researched it and know what you're investing into, of course. And do bear in mind that the fund we chose is not a recommendation. And you can also add multiple shares and funds into your portfolio at once. You can then select the amount that you wish to invest into this portfolio every month, and this is pretty straightforward. As an example, if your direct debit is putting in £100 a month, you can set this to invest that £100 across your portfolio to keep things simple. Now that that's all set up, you'll need to input your child's details, set a username and a password, and some security answers. And then after that, you'll need to do the same with your own details, but this is all clearly laid out for you to work through. You then need to wait for your account to be approved, which Hargreaves Lansdown says can take up to 1 working day. But from our experience, it has typically taken around 90 minutes or so. If you've chosen to set up a direct debit upon account creation, you won't see anything under your pending orders or transaction history. And that's because it will show up between the 7th and 10th of each month, when the investment will take place, just in case you're wondering why everything is blank. If you want to make an immediate investment into the account, you can deposit cash now if you like. To do this, click Add Money and then Deal Now, and that's all there is to it. After you've invested via a cash deposit, this will take up to 4 to 5 working days to go through, so it'll appear in your Pending Orders tab until then. And just like that, you've set up an investment into a Junior Stocks and Shares ISA. These are a great way to save for your kids and take full advantage of the yearly ISA allowance before they turn 18.